Before you skip this video, let me ask you one serious question. If a fine, penalty points, or even losing your license landed in your inbox tomorrow morning, would you honestly know why? Because right now, thousands of UK drivers are being caught out by new driving rules they didn't even know existed. No warning, no letter in advance, just fines, points, and problems. And here's the scary part. One of the changes I'm about to show you can affect you even if you're driving perfectly legally, and another could cost you money every single year without you realizing it. So do yourself a favor. Stay with me until the end of this video, because missing just one of these updates could end up costing you hundreds of pounds, or your license. Let's start right now. Now, before we go any further, I want to say something directly to you. This channel isn't about clickbait, panic, or confusing rules. It's about protecting you, your money, your license, and your peace of mind as a driver in the UK. If you drive, if you own a car, if you're thinking about buying one, or if you just want to stay one step ahead of fines and rule changes, then honestly, this channel was made for you. I regularly upload clear, simple videos on new driving laws, rule changes, fines to avoid, and upcoming updates that most people only find out about when it's already too late. So if you don't want to be caught off guard ever again, make it easy for yourself. Hit that subscribe button now. Future videos on topics like this are already coming, and subscribing means you'll see them before they cost you money. Think of it as 5 seconds now, to save yourself hundreds of pounds later. If you are a driver in the United Kingdom, whether you have been driving for 2 years or 20 years, you really need to sit down and listen to this video very carefully, because something very important is changing right now. The government has just rolled out 5 brand new driving rule changes, and if you do not know about them, you could very easily end up with a fine landing in your post or straight into your email inbox. Nobody wants that, right? So today, I am going to break down each one of these 5 changes in the simplest way possible, so that by the end of this video, you will know exactly what is happening, what it means for you personally, and most importantly, how to make sure you do not get caught out. So grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let us get into it. Let us start with the first change, and this one is a big one that affects almost every single driver on the road today. Seatbelt laws have become significantly stricter. Now, I know what you might be thinking. We have always had seatbelt laws in the UK, right? And yes, that is true. It has been illegal to drive without a seatbelt for a very long time, but here is what is different now. Previously, if you were caught not wearing your seatbelt, you would typically just receive a fine. That fine could be up to £500, which is already a lot of money, but that was usually where it ended. The new rules have changed this completely. Now, if you are caught without a seatbelt, you are not only going to face that fine, but you are also going to get 3 penalty points added to your driving license. 3 points. That is a massive deal. And it gets even more serious than that, because the rule does not just apply to you as the driver. If you have a passenger in your car, whether that is a friend, a family member, or even a child, and that person is not wearing their seatbelt, guess what? You, as the driver, can be held fully responsible. That means you could be the one getting the fine and the points, even though it was someone else who forgot to buckle up. So the message here is very clear and very simple. Before you pull away from wherever you are parked, make sure that every single person in that car is wearing their seatbelt. Check yourself. Check the front passenger, turn around and check the back. It takes about 2 seconds, and it could save you from a very expensive lesson. Now let us move on to the second change, and this one is going to affect a lot of people who enjoy a drink or two before getting behind the wheel. The drink drive limit is being reduced. Currently, the legal limit in England and Wales is 80 milligrams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood. That has been the standard for a very long time. But now, the government is bringing this limit down to 50 milligrams per 100 milliliters of blood. That is a significant drop. To put this into perspective for you, imagine you have been out for the evening and you have had what you might normally consider to be a small amount of alcohol. Under the old rules, you might have felt confident that you were still within the legal limit. But under these new rules, you could very well be over the limit without even realizing it. Scotland has actually been operating on this lower limit for a while now, and most countries across Europe already follow it too. So in a way, England and Wales are simply catching up with the rest of the world. But here is the thing. This change means you need to be much more careful than before. If you are planning to drive after drinking, even just 1 or 2 drinks, you need to think very carefully about whether it is actually safe and legal for you to get in that car. The safest advice is this. If you have had alcohol and you are not completely sure whether you are under the new limit, just do not drive. Call a taxi, arrange a lift, or wait it out. It is simply not worth the risk, because the consequences of being caught drink driving are severe. You could lose your license entirely. The third change on our list today is all about your MOT, your tax, and your vehicle registration, and the way these are now being checked has become much more advanced and much harder to get away with ignoring. The authorities, including the police, are now using something called ANPR cameras. ANPR stands for Automated Number Plate Recognition. These are cameras that are placed all over the road network across the country, and they are incredibly smart. As your car drives past one of these cameras, it instantly reads your number plate and checks it against a massive database. That database contains information about whether your MOT is up to date, whether your vehicle tax has been paid, and whether your car is properly registered. If anything comes back as being out of order, the system flags it immediately. The police can then take action without even having to pull you over initially. Now, why does this matter to you? Well, if your MOT has expired, if your tax is not paid, or if there is any issue with your registration details, you are now much more likely to be caught than you ever were before. And the consequences are not small. You could face a fine, and here is the part that really catches people off guard. Driving without valid insurance, a valid MOT, or valid tax could actually invalidate your insurance policy entirely. That means if you were ever involved in an accident while any of these things were not up to date, your insurance company could refuse to pay out. So please, take a moment right now, even after this video ends, to check your MOT expiry date, make sure your tax is paid and up to date, and confirm that all your registration details are correct. It is one of those things that is so easy to let slip, but the consequences of letting it slip are now much bigger than they used to be. Moving on to the fourth change, and this one is particularly relevant if you are driving an electric vehicle or if you are thinking about buying one. Electric cars have for a very long time enjoyed some really fantastic tax benefits in the UK. They were essentially tax-free when it came to road tax, which is officially called Vehicle Excise Duty or VED. But that free ride is now officially over. If you bought or registered a brand new electric car on or after the 1st of April 2025, you are now required to pay road tax. In the first year, the cost is £10, which is still very affordable. But from the second year onwards, it jumps up to the standard rate of £195 per year. That is the same amount that many petrol and diesel car owners are already paying. And there is more. If your electric car has a list price, that is the price it was originally sold at, of over £40,000, you are also now subject to something called the Expensive Car Supplement, which is an additional tax on top of your standard road tax. This used to not apply to electric vehicles at all, but now it does. The good news is that the threshold for this supplement is being raised from £40,000 to £50,000. So if your car is priced between those two amounts, you might just escape it. But if your car is above £50,000, you are going to be paying extra. On top of all of this, the London congestion charge has also increased. It used to be £15 a day, and now it has gone up to £18 if you pay on or before the day you travel, or £21 if you pay within 3 days after. Electric car owners used to get a full discount on this charge, but that discount has now ended. There is a smaller discount available if you register for AutoPay, which brings the daily cost down to £13.50 for electric cars, but it is still a far cry from the free ride that electric drivers used to enjoy. So if you own an electric car, or if you are planning to buy one, you really need to factor these new costs into your budget going forward. And finally, let us talk about the fifth change, which is about the way your driving license is being modernized and how eyesight and fitness to drive are being taken much more seriously than before. The UK government is in the process of rolling out digital driving licenses. This is going to be fully available by 2027, but the process has already started. You will be able to access your driving license digitally through a smartphone app called the gov.uk wallet. Now, your physical license card is still going to be valid, so you do not need to panic about throwing it away or anything like that. But here is the important bit. The government is encouraging all drivers to keep their digital information up to date. That includes your address, your medical information, and your entitlements. If any of that information is out of date or incorrect, you could face fines or run into problems with enforcement. So it is a good idea to get ahead of this now and make sure everything is accurate before it becomes mandatory. Alongside the digital license rollout, there is also a much stronger focus on eyesight checks, especially for older drivers. Currently, drivers are expected to be able to read a standard number plate from a distance of 20 meters. That is roughly the length of about 5 cars lined up end to end. If you cannot do that, even with glasses or contact lenses, your eyesight does not meet the legal standard for driving. What is changing now is that police are being encouraged to carry out more roadside eyesight checks than before. And if you fail one of these checks, your license could be revoked on the spot. This is particularly important for drivers who are over the age of 70 because they already have to renew their license every 3 years, and the renewal process is now being reviewed to make sure that people are genuinely fit and safe to be on the road. If you are over 70, or if you are getting close to that age, it is a really good idea to get your eyes tested by an optician sooner rather than later, just to make sure you are meeting the standard. It is a simple thing to do, and it could save you a lot of stress down the line. So there you have it, everyone. 5 major changes to UK driving rules that are happening right now, and all 5 of them have the potential to land you with a fine if you are not paying attention. Let us do a quick recap so that everything is fresh in your mind. First, seatbelt laws are now stricter, with 3 penalty points being added on top of the existing fine if you or your passengers are not buckled up. Second, the drink drive limit has been lowered from 80 milligrams to 50 milligrams per 100 milliliters of blood, which means you need to be much more careful before deciding to drive after drinking. Third, ANPR cameras are now being used across the country to automatically check whether your MOT, tax, and registration are all valid, and if they are not, you could be in serious trouble. Fourth, electric vehicles have lost their tax-free status, and owners are now expected to pay road tax just like everyone else, along with increased congestion charges in London. And fifth, digital licenses are being introduced, eyesight checks are becoming more common, and drivers need to make sure all their information is kept up to date. Now, I want to be completely honest with you here. None of these changes are meant to make your life harder or to catch you out unfairly. The government has put these rules in place because they genuinely want to make the roads safer for everyone. Seatbelt laws save lives. Lowering the drink-drive limit reduces the number of serious accidents. Making sure cars are properly taxed and tested keeps dangerous vehicles off the road. And keeping track of whether drivers are fit and healthy to be behind the wheel is just common sense. But even though the intentions behind these rules are good, the reality is that if you do not know about them, you are going to get caught, and it is going to cost you money. So the best thing you can do is stay informed, stay prepared, and take just a few minutes every now and then to check that everything on your end is in order. Before I finish up, I just want to mention one more thing that is coming down the line, even though it is not part of the 5 main changes we have talked about today. Learner drivers are also facing some changes. The theory test is being updated to include new questions about CPR and how to use an automated external defibrillator, which is also known as an AED. These are the devices you sometimes see in public places like train stations or shopping centers that can be used to help someone who is having a heart attack. The idea behind adding this to the theory test is to make sure that new drivers have a basic understanding of how to respond in an emergency situation. It is a really positive change, and it shows that the government is thinking about road safety in a much broader way than just the rules around driving itself. So if you found this video helpful, and I really hope you did, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you do not miss any future videos like this one. If you have any questions about any of the changes we have talked about today, drop them in the comments below and I will do my best to get back to you. And if you know someone who drives in the UK and who might not have seen this video yet, do them a favor and share it with them. It could genuinely save them from a hefty fine. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone, and stay safe out there on the roads.